What do you think of when you hear the words mental health? If you think of struggle, anxiety, depression, or self care, meditation, or mindfulness, you wouldn't be alone. As recent as 10 years ago, it was considered a social taboo to talk about mental health. The topic was surrounded by stigma, which often came from the lack of understanding or fear or inaccurate and misleading media representation. In recent years, the conversation about mental health is shifting away from being framed as a negative. Instead, there is a growing sense that mental health is something we must protect and take care of to improve our lives. It is no longer just a topic of conversation, it's a movement. With this growing mental health and well being movement, the terms mental health, mental illness, and psychological health and safety are increasingly being used interchangeably, although they don't mean the same thing. So, what's the difference? Let me explain. Mental health is like physical health. Everyone has mental health. Physical health is the state of your body, and mental health is the state of your mind, your feelings, and emotions. Like physical health, mental health is always there, and it's fine to have good and bad days. Physical health can influence mental health both positively and negatively, but so can life experiences, work or school environments, relationships, and the type of community you live in. Being mentally healthy enables you to feel, think, and act in ways that help you enjoy life and cope with its challenges. Poor mental health may result in feeling unhappy, difficulty thinking clearly, or feeling overwhelmed by stressful situations. Mental illness is a recognized, medically diagnosable illness that results in the significant impairment of an individual's cognitive, affective, and relational abilities. Mental illness disorders result from biological, developmental, and or psychosocial factors and can be managed using approaches comparable to those of physical diseases such as prevention, diagnosis, treatment, and rehabilitation. It's helpful to think of mental health and mental illness as separate entities working independently. So, in other words, you can have good mental health but be living with a diagnosed mental illness that is being treated successfully. Or you can have poor mental health but not have a mental illness. Finally, psychological health and safety. This is the concept that involves preventing injury to the mental well being of workers. A psychologically safe and healthy workplace is one that promotes mental well being and does not harm employees' mental health through negligent, reckless, or intentional ways. For example, a psychologically safe workplace is a high functioning, respectful, and productive workplace that is free from excessive fear or chronic anxiety. Although the mental health and well being movement is growing, stigma and discrimination are still prevalent. Taking a positive step towards addressing stigma starts by educating ourselves and others, and most importantly, talking openly about mental health. Most people are comfortable talking to their friends, families, and coworkers about going to see a doctor if they have the flu or a broken leg, but they aren't so comfortable talking about going to see a professional for their depression. When people talk about seeking help for their mental health, it can normalize the conversation in the same way as talking about seeking help for their physical health. Supporting and promoting mental health begins by understanding the signs and symptoms of the state of our mental health that we can all recognize and proactively improve. Mental health is not a binary state. So you are not either mentally healthy or ill, but rather it falls on a continuum. This model of the mental health continuum illustrates that it can range from thriving to debilitating, depending on various contributing factors or situations, either positive or negative, that we may encounter at that time. Let's examine how the continuum works in practice. When you are in the green section, your mental health is thriving. You're telling yourself, I've got this. You feel fine, not necessarily completely free from troubles, but you have normal mood fluctuations. You have a sense of humor, even when life can be challenging. Whatever your worries or annoyances you face, you can problem solve easily. And you are using healthy coping strategies. You are functioning normally with regards to basic behaviors like eating and sleeping. Your work patterns and social life are what is normal for you. Now, in order to stay in the green section, here are some actions you can take. You can establish healthy work boundaries and personal life boundaries. Identify and prioritize your projects and break down problems into manageable tasks. Build and maintain a social support system and maintain a healthy lifestyle. When you are in the yellow section, your mental health is declining and you're telling yourself, oh, something isn't right. It's fairly easy to move into this section, and it is important to recognize the signs and symptoms. Worries occupy your thoughts more than usual. You might be more negative, sad, impatient, and nervous than usual. Appetite and sleep may be affected. It will also be harder to concentrate on work or other tasks. The good news is that it can be relatively easy to pull yourself out of the yellow section by recognizing your limits and respecting your established healthy boundaries at work and in your personal life. Getting adequate rest, nutrition, and exercise, and focusing and engaging in healthy coping strategies. If steps aren't taken, there is a danger of slipping into the orange section where your mental health is struggling and you're telling yourself, I can't keep this up. You may feel so much anxiety, anger, sadness, and hopelessness that life becomes a misery. Concentration is poor, energy is low, and work suffers. In this state of mental health, you may be feeling more pain both emotionally and physically. Your normal behavior habits are affected, such as appetite, sleep, and social interactions. It's important to remember that not all is lost and that you have felt better in the past. In the orange section, it is important to identify and understand your own signs of distress. Focus on healthy coping strategies. Prioritize your physical health, rest, nutrition, and exercise. Talk with someone. Seek help from your manager for work related stressors and seek social support instead of withdrawing. Unfortunately, there is a stage of mental health beyond struggling, which is the red section, where your mental health is debilitating and you're telling yourself, I can't survive this. Anyone can fall into this section given the right circumstances. When you are in this section, your emotional pain may be unbearable. Symptoms include severe anxiety, depression, anger, and thoughts of suicide. You may have a great difficulty performing at work and in other ordinary acts, such as personal hygienes, eating, sleeping, and social interaction. Immediate help is needed. Consult a health professional and follow their recommendations. Focus on regaining your physical and mental health. Prioritize healthy coping strategies and seek social support instead of withdrawing. Once you notice the signs that you may be moving up and down the continuum, this will help you recognize when you might need to slow down or seek help. If you find yourself sliding into the orange or red section, take immediate action. Call someone you trust or seek professional advice by calling your doctor or your employee assistance program if you have one. Whatever you're going through, remember that you're not alone. You can access Wellness Together Canada, which is a mental health and substance use website to support people across Canada in both official languages. They provide the following resources for you at no cost: immediate text support, information and videos on common mental health and substance use issues, wellness programs that you can do on your own or with coaching, community and peer support, individual phone, video, and text counseling. Whatever it is you're looking for, they are there to point you in the right resource out there. Again, remember, you are not alone. Help is only a click away.